Yes, lads, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In my opinion, the worst manager in the Premier League currently. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a fraud. He's robbing a living, and it's not looking brilliant for Man United fans. So let's get into it. Before we do, please make sure to like and subscribe and share this video however you wish. It just does really help if you can just put a like, and it doesn't cost you anything, so I'd be very appreciative if you just like the video. Now, according to Sky Bet, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is 1-to-1 favourites to be sacked in the Premier League, which is the favourite. Just to put that into comparison, coming in at 4 times the odds, Eddie Howe, and also coming in at 8 times the odds is 8-to-1, Dean Smith. So, why is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so shit? Well, if you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his managerial history, he's not done much. I wouldn't say he was successful in his managerial career. Obviously, Cardiff, obviously didn't end particularly well, getting relegated. I couldn't give a flying fuck what he did with Mould, because I reckon I could win the league in there. The 46-year-old took over at Man United not too recently, I suppose. He's been here quite a lot. Obviously, he took the interim job and got the contract pretty much because he beat PSG. Rashford late penalty because of VAR. On a side note, fuck VAR. Just had to get out of the way. I've got a few things listed here of why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is so shit and why he should be sacked. And the first one is the fans. I mean, Manchester United is arguably one of the most successful clubs, or if not the most successful club in the past 20, 30 years, taken away obviously these past 6 or 7 years. Obviously Ferguson took United to scarily high heights, and it was interesting just to see how their demise came about. Obviously, you were never going to replicate Ferguson immediately, especially not with someone like David Moyes. But to have ended up, even from a Van Gaal Mourinho sort of era, to end up with an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, I don't think it's... As a Manchester United fan, you've got to look at that and think, we're going in the complete wrong direction. I know you're fifth in the league, all this bollocks, but I think Rio said it quite well. 600 million's been spent, and not one of those players is they're not good players. Pogba is a cracking player, don't get me wrong, but in a Manchester United shirt, it sort of switches in his head, and he just isn't very good. Harry Maguire is probably the biggest waste of anything above 50 million since the Fernando Torres transfer. Daniel James is a young prospect who I don't necessarily mind as a signing, but he's not a Manchester United signing at the end of the day, if you know what I mean. Like, he doesn't have the calibre. He doesn't say, oh fucking hell, Man United have gone out and got Daniel James. I mean, the lad was in Wales. Like, Martial, I do quite like Martial, but he's having an absolute shitter recently. He's missed 2 shots from inside the 6-yard box in 2 games. That's just as far as that goes. Fred isn't even fit to be running the fucking training sessions. Fred shouldn't even be... I reckon I could find you an under 14 that's better than fucking Freddie's shit. De Gea's got Swiss cheese hands at the minute, but I do rate him and I do think he'll sort of come through this patch. The less said about Lingard, the better. McTominay's not... McTominay just strikes me as a Newcastle player, some team like Newcastle, maybe a Bournemouth kind of player, maybe, or something like that. He's not United calibre, if you know what I mean. And it says a lot when he is one of their sort of shining prospects. Andreas Pereira and Fred should both sort of be, released. Yeah, we'll go with released. Luke Shaw, less said about the better. Wan-Bissaka, however, is a good prospect. But I've just gone through, I think, 14 players, or 13. I've excluded Rashford, Williams, Greenwood, and... No, that's it. I've just excluded Rashford, Greenwood, and Brandon Williams, because those are youth prospects who they didn't spend any money on, and they're quality. Rashford, world class. Greenwood will be world class. Brandon Williams has a very high ceiling, but also a very low floor. I like the bloke because he does possess a trait that I like to call shithousery. And he's very good at game management. I think that'll help them. But the state of Man United at the minute is just an absolute shambles. The next point is Ed Woodward. This is sort of going away from the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing. Imagine having that bigger twat in charge of your club. You'd be fuming. I'm going back to the Fawaz days at Forest where it's the opposite. We shifted managers if they lost 2 games in a row. This fucker won't shift it if he can't get relegated 2 seasons in a row. All he cares about is the bottom line. And it's a shambles for Man United. And it is embarrassing for a Man United fan to be where they are. And obviously, Man United are such a team with such an illustrious history. I don't like them in particular. I've just pulled up Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's stats here, and it makes for quite interesting reading. 45 games in charge of Man United. This, I think, from March, I think he was appointed. This is his full-time appointment. He's won 19 and lost 15, obviously drawing 11, with a points per match of 1.5. That's fucking shambolic. And I know the bloke only lost 3 in 19 in his interim spell. And I know the bloke was champions of wherever the fuck, Sweden or wherever the fuck Mould play. But the bloke can't win. He got 1.07 average points with Cardiff. He wasn't even particularly good in charge of the United under-23s when he was there. He's obviously had success at Mould, and to be fair, you're robbing a living over here in England, mate. Just go back to Mould, lad, because it's not working out for you. But he's still relatively young for a manager. I don't think he has necessarily a style of football, so unless he can go away and sort of work on a style of football that is Ole ball or Solskjaer ball or whatever, he can come sort of back to England, maybe with a lower league Prem team, Championship team, hopefully not Forest. If we ever resort to this level of low, I'd put a fucking USP to my skull. But yeah, I do think he needs to go away from football for a couple of years and sort of just work on his style of football, because it's just shit at the minute, and it borderlines just awful for Man United fans to have a man, such a clueless man, not only owning the club and in charge of the club, but managing the team. And I think it just shows a lack of, just a pure show of incompetence from Ed Woodward not to have acted upon it. Now, there was a report, I think, a week ago that said he has no say in the matter. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. But yeah, that's bollocks. If he wanted to do something, he would. He's just waiting. He's got a yes man, and he can do what he wants when Solskjaer's there, and he's a scapegoat. But Solskjaer has to go for me. I'd just like to note that I'm recording this after they did lose 2-0 to Burnley at home, which is embarrassing, isn't it? Burnley being, 13th, I think. But yeah, as I said, that's good. Do it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, all that shit. It does help out quite a lot more than you can imagine. And I'll see you in the next video. Fuck Sam Boulder.